9 hours after the posting of this video, crypto's biggest project of the 2025 bull run is likely to close its last airdrop participation round. And so I decided to make this video a few days earlier to bring this to you ASAP. Now, all of you, of course, subscribed with the bell notification on are going to be the lucky ones in this case, right? You've done the work, hitting the bell. And so, of course, this is going to benefit you guys first. Now, I must admit, I'm going to show you a secondary method behind this primary method, which I truly do believe will set a lot of us up to be financially free. If we've taken anything from that guy who got $1 million in the Jupiter airdrop, there's going to be a second chance for you guys to possibly even get more rewards if you watch this, 12 hours to any point in time after the next 9 hours of the upload. So don't worry, don't stress. There definitely is a way you guys are probably going to be maybe even better off. But in this case, we're going to take no chances, and I'm going to show you really what I'm talking about here. But of course, first of all, you're thinking to yourself, well, what project are you even talking about? Well, I made this video 4 days ago for you all, and I listed 5 unreleased projects that were going to make you filthy rich. And one of the ones I could not get my head around, right? See this thumbnail? That's literally how I felt, right? Was a project called EigenLayer, listed right there on the thumbnail. And EigenLayer is a project fundamentally changing how crypto works. Now, I get it. A lot of you don't really get into crypto or how it works on a technology level, and I understand that. It is a bit of a mind melt, but I'm here as someone who does and who loves it to tell you this project is one you can't miss out on, because it genuinely is changing how crypto works and all the use cases involved. These guys basically created their own narrative, right? Oracles, layer 1s, layer 2s, DeFi. They created essentially distributed validation, allowing people to get all the security, all the ETH locked up in Ethereum and Ethereum's ecosystem, securing the network, because Ethereum is the most secure layer 1 project out there, right? Right behind, of course, Bitcoin. And we're going to take all of that money and pooled strength, and we're going to use it in other projects. That's what they've done. They've pretty much broken history here, made history rather, and I want to tell you all how, and again, how you can benefit before it does launch, because it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So how big? Well, one of the biggest modularity projects of the bull run. Now, modularity is, in my opinion, going to be right behind layer 2s and layer 1s as the biggest narrative in crypto for the bull run, because it basically is allowing layer 2s to be such a big narrative this bull run. That's why they've propped up so much. They have changed the game. Layer 2s can be now as powerful as layer 1 projects. Previously to this, layer 2s were, no matter how good they were, instantly less viable than layer 1, a decent layer 1 even, because they weren't decentralized at their core. They weren't all these different things that you can argue, okay? But because of EigenLayer, they can be, right? Even probably better than some layer 1s. So they also have spawned 100x more use cases because of this. And I'm going to tell you how in just a moment here. Ultimately, I always talk about narratives, and this is where money will flow into crypto projects at a given time in the bull run. Again, as you all know, money just doesn't all flow into the market at once and dump all at once. It happens in these little epochs. And in this case, distributed validation, I guess, is a 10 because, well, we have no data on this in the past, but I can pretty well guarantee it will be. Modularity, in my opinion, is already a 10, but EigenLayer pretty much 10x's that again, right? It's an order of magnitude better than other modularity projects because it allows modularity to basically happen in a lot of these projects, and data availability, just like you guys know and love about Celestia. It's essentially a Celestia built into EigenLayer as well. So if you want to be exposed to all of these narratives, this is your chance, okay? This really is. Now, I want to say full disclaimer, we might find in a week or two, EigenLayer opens the round I'm about to tell you all about now that will close in the next few hours. They might open it up again, right? They've been doing this off and on periodically, and we don't really know though. No one knows for sure whether they're going to open this up again. And I speculate the EigenLayer token will be launched sometime around the first half of 2024, which means they don't want to probably keep this going for too long, because the longer they do, the more popular it gets, the more people that restake in the project, of course, the more diminished the returns it is. So in this case, let's get into why I think you guys need to really get your head sunk into what I'm about to tell you. Again, the round is going to be closing in about 9 hours, but it's all because of the rewards. It's not just one form of rewards, right? We see with Celestia and a few of these other projects like Cosmos giving us airdrops, and we can stake the tokens in the network, which gets passive income as well as the benefits of the airdrops. Well, EigenLayer does even more than that, right? You can just continually get airdrops on airdrops in many different ways. So first of all, you can get yield from LST protocols. This is pretty basic sort of stuff. And if you're like, what's an LST protocol? I don't understand where he's going with this. That's okay. I'm going to break down in a second here how the ecosystem around this works, okay? But I want to explain to you the potential rewards here first. So 3.2% APR, you can roughly speaking get here. You will soon be able to get passive income or APR like this from EigenLayer itself. Right now it's on testnet, it hasn't launched on mainnet, so we don't currently have this, but it will come in the future. Also, we have the possibility through the process I'm going to tell you today, get airdrops from some of the protocols, the LST protocols, right? These protocols that allow you to liquid stake your Ethereum, and also get the airdrop from EigenLayer. Okay, so we've got two forms of airdrops here, and actually, matter of fact, if you participate in more than just one project over here, you can get involved in up to 3 or more airdrops. But then also, based on what we're going to do here and restake our Ethereum into EigenLayer, also get some of these projects that haven't yet released their own tokens, obviously get their airdrops as well. And at that, we can also, in the future, pretty much put our restaked tokens in EigenLayer to work on these projects. We can pick and choose, which then we can earn passive rewards either in their native token or, of course, back at Ethereum for helping secure their networks as well, based on how EigenLayer works, okay? So I know some of you are like literally like scratching your heads, probably sitting back right now thinking to yourself, oh, he lost me 3 minutes ago. But let me explain again how the ecosystem works. So again, it's very similar to how Injective, Cosmos, and Celestia work, right? You have endless airdrops basically, but you can also put your tokens, not just getting passive rewards like you can in these projects from staking, but also use that to put into these projects over here and secure them to earn even more yield. It's just like these endless possibilities, right? And so essentially you can think of it like 3.2 or more, because right now, again, EigenLayer doesn't offer any APR, % rewards passively, and 3 or more types of airdrops at different levels. So let me explain briefly how this process works and kind of how EigenLayer spawned as an idea. So it's all spawned from Ethereum, and the reason why we're building on Ethereum here is because, well, Ethereum is the most secured network of them all, right? It has the most money invested in it, and in a proof of stake network like Ethereum, the more money you have invested in it, the harder it is for an attacker to try and overthrow the network, right? To do malicious things, because it's pretty much going to have to put up 50% of the total staked value in the network, which is why you hear people always talk about total staked in projects. And in this case, we're talking about like hundreds of billions of dollars. So not many people can afford to do that. And so it's all based on validation. So people put up a minimum of 32 Ethereum to secure the network. You can put in more, of course. It means that you're more likely to get the chance to get the block reward and process the block. But more or less, we have these projects over here that allow the average Joe to get involved in this validation process without putting in a minimum of the 32 ETH. Two of these examples is Lido staking, and the other one is Swell. Now, we'll talk more about Swell in a moment here, but things like Lido, for example, right? What they essentially do is, again, allow anyone with any amount of Ethereum to say, I'm going to put in my Ethereum into Lido. Lido is going to stake it into Ethereum and validate Ethereum. It's going to give me back the rewards that it gets, or a portion of the rewards it gets, of course, and allow me to have what's called an ST, or liquid staked token, which is when you do participate in this, you get this back, okay? And this is always slightly less than the amount of Ethereum you put in, because you can do more things with this ST than what you could do by just staking your Ethereum in one place. It essentially allows you to gain about 3.2% or ish rewards back from this method. And then with this token that you get back, you can, of course, go into DeFi, and you can use it for things like lending and borrowing, or you can use it to stake again, which you might be able to earn 3.2% rewards. So all in all, you can do more things whilst, of course, always being rewarded from participating in the consensus process. Now, Swell does the same thing. A lot of these other projects do the same thing. But of course, when you stake through them, the liquid staked token that you get back, it's going to be called something different. In this case, their token is just called SWETH. Of course, it's just, whatever their project decides to call it. But either way, it just represents the amount of Ethereum you have invested or staked in their project. that you can use for other purposes in the DeFi ecosystem. And so where EigenLayer comes in, it says, hang on, all of this Ethereum, right? It might be, in this case, 149 Ethereum. Well, you guys are putting all this just to secure Ethereum. Why don't we then allow you to then use that wallet staking and then use it to secure other projects as well? So we're taking like multi-billions, hundreds of billions of dollars maybe even, and we're allowing you guys to then use that again to earn even more rewards in different projects. It's not only securing them, but you're getting more rewards. It's basically what's happening on this micro scale, but on a larger scale, okay? And they call it pooling their consensus. It's a whole new use case for crypto. I mean, there's other competitors to EigenLayer out there, but Eigen, first and foremost, is the biggest boy of them all, okay? So in this case, it's called a process of restaking. So, whether it's the Ethereum that these guys over here have, right? If you're someone who goes and stakes a minimum of 32 ETH yourself, or whether you're someone who has what's called a liquid staking token, it doesn't matter. EigenLayer says you guys can pretty much use either the Ethereum itself or the liquid staked Ethereum from whatever protocol you may want and come in, put it into EigenLayer and secure whatever projects are building on us or building with us. And right now it's about 12, okay? So you have many different types of projects, and what this is allowing and why it's so hyper-focused on modularity is that these projects like Espresso are allowing layer 2s to be as decentralized as layer 1s. Before this, they only had one validator. Most of these projects had one validator processing all those transactions into Ethereum. You also have one of the 12 projects like Hyperlane. These guys are focused on leveraging EigenLayer to make interoperability or cross-chain transactions extremely secure and also customizable, okay? And then you have projects like Mantle, which is using EigenLayer as data availability, just kind of like what projects use Celestia for, okay? Decentralizing consensus. So how do we participate? What are the next steps? Well, like I said earlier, there's two ways we can do this. I'm going to show you the first today. I'll leave a link to a gentleman that will explain how to do the second one down below. They're basically very, very similar, but they will give you different outcomes. Matter of fact, the second one is, again, for most of you who are watching this after the next 8 or 9 hours after upload, you guys will probably get even more rewards out of doing it this way. It's just a few extra steps involved and trust layers, right? You're going to have to interact with more smart contracts. You get more yield on both EigenLayer and your Airdrop, tokens. But again, you're interacting with more, which means there's more room for failure. So I'll take you through the first one here today. So the first thing you have to do to either of these two steps is, of course, buy some Ethereum. It all hinges on Ethereum. And in this case, again, centralized exchange probably will be the best option for you. Just put, your ETH onto a non-custodial account. Now, I'm obviously using MetaMask over here. It might be the easiest thing for most of us to do. We're going to go to a project called Swell. Now, Swell is one of the many projects we can actually use here for EigenLayer restaking. But the reason we're going with Swell, which is right here, and we're trying to acquire the SWETH liquid staked token is because all these other projects don't have or already have their token out there. So we know and can confirm Swell right now is in the process of rewarding future airdrop participation people. So it's probably the best one for us to use if we want to maximize our overall gains. So go to the first link down below and we're going to interact with Swell here on the stake tab. You want to come down and, of course, once you have your Ethereum in your wallet, ideally make sure you have it on the Ethereum mainnet. We want to put in how much you decide to stake. So for us, I'm going to put in 0.1 ETH. And as you can see, it'll be slightly less in the liquid staked ETH tokens because, of course, you can just do more things with the liquid staked tokens. The APR is, again, 3.2%. So we will be able to pick up even more rewards, of course, and click stake. Now, this might take a few minutes here, and make sure that you aren't spending too much money on gas. I mean, $23 is a little bit ridiculous, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to bite the bullet and do it for us all. This might take a few moments here, but ideally, you don't want to be doing this at a time of high congestion. We really have no choice. I mean, we only have 8 hours left before this kind of closes, so you might be put in a hard spot. Once it's done, you want to click portfolio just to make sure you do have it in your balance. We can see here 0.095 SWETH, which means it went through. You can see I do have some pearls. This is the airdrop kind of rewards we're trying to get here from Swell. So this is a good sign to see. If you are someone who doesn't see this, it might take some time to actually accrue. All we do here is go to the second link down below and enter the EigenLayer page here. This is the staking page or the restaking page. And if you are someone watching this after the next, 8 hours, right, you're going to be able to see the page, but you won't be able to deposit into any of these liquid staking programs, okay? Which is good for us who do stake because we can actually withdraw our tokens whenever we want. We're not locked into some sort of long contract. We want to click Swell Staked Ether. Again, whatever other one you pick, you can just simply open up and we can see, as you can see, the balance is about 0.095. You want to put in how much you want to stake. Again, for me, it's max and click deposit. This is quite fast, but again, it is quite expensive as well. I mean, this is $30 now. Guys, please, for the love of God, drop a like on the video for that. I've spent, what's that? Almost $70 on this. So, okay, so that's gone through. Great. Again, quite quick here, all things considered. We're going to click home and you might have to refresh the page in order to actually see any updates. This is 5 ETH I have over here. And restaked points. So this is essentially your EigenLayer points that you're trying to accumulate. Again, this is actually found through how much you have invested or put in or staked versus the time, okay? So that's kind of how it calculates. Very, very simple sort of stuff. And that essentially is most of the process done. So we've staked in Swell, we're getting APY plus the airdrop. We're also restaking that liquid staked Swell back into EigenLayer, getting some APY, or at least possibly in future here, and the airdrop as well. So we have 2 airdrops and currently 3.2% APR. Again, 0 APR right now for EigenLayer, but if that opens up when mainnet comes out, we might even get, double the reward, which is kind of likely to happen. Now, with the benefit of this, when the network does launch, we'll be able to use our liquid staked tokens again, using the restake mechanism to go and put that, of course, and secure other networks. Like I said before, Espresso, Hyperlane, Cello, some of the other projects, but also EigenLayer points are likely to get you in future airdrops in these projects as well. That's step 1, pretty easy, pretty simple. That's all you have to do. Now, number 2 is similar, right? You have to buy ETH, do the same sort of process at the start, put it onto your MetaMask. In this case, we're going to use and look at 2 different protocols rather than Swell. Swell was obviously listed on the EigenLayer page over here, but these 2 projects aren't. Kelp and EtherFi. Now, these 2 projects are, again, like Swell, but you actually stake and restake on them. Now, Kelp's a bit different. You have to kind of buy the liquid stake token already. So go to Lido, get the liquid stake token, then you can actually restake through these guys directly. And EtherFi is pretty much the same sort of thing, but you can actually get the ETH token itself on here as a liquid stake token. And then what happens is both of these tokens have an airdrop coming out. So for Kelp, we have Kelp Miles, and for EtherFi, we have loyalty points. Now, of course, if you are someone paying attention, you can actually participate in all 3 of these airdrops. You just have to, of course, if you have 1 ETH, maybe put 0.33 ETH in each of these protocols. Matter of fact, even if you're watching this video after the next 8 or 9 hours, you can still participate in Swell because, as you notice over here, we can hit restake rather than staking over here. And this will allow you to do the same process we just did or going to do for Kelp and also EtherFi, in the fact that it interacts with EigenLayer on the back end. So you're not having to go through EigenLayer's app itself and do it yourself. Now, of course, the benefit of doing it yourself is the fact that you likely will have more incentives once EigenLayer's mainnet opens up. And of course, you've got your tokens already staked in there for a long period of time. You've accrued more EigenLayer points. Basically, you've accrued more restaked points, which might give you access to these tokens or these projects over here, okay? But the benefit of doing it this way and using these is you're still getting the APR from using these projects, plus also the Eigen points. They give you the EigenLayer points back. So you're in 2 airdrops, 1, 2 different options over here. And also you can use a project like Pendle Finance, to boost your rewards even more, okay? So again, you're not interacting with EigenLayer directly, but because of that, we can use these liquid tokens to come over here and boost it even more. So as we can see, well, I'll actually open up the page for you. We have a few different options. We have the tokens on Ethereum and also Arbitrum capable for EtherFi. So of course, over here for Arbitrum gives you slightly more multiples if you are on for EtherFi tokens, if you are on Arbitrum, and also Kelp only has the one option, 3x multiples, as well as the 1x multiple for EigenLayer. So you're getting more bang for your buck, and that's what I was saying before. So it might actually be more viable for you guys to do it both ways, this way and this way, if you have the option. Okay, so with that said, I know I apologize for rushing through it. I do want to get this video out for everyone that does want to participate. Again, I'll leave the link down below for those of you who want to participate in this method and want to just have a nice, even flow. But if you are overwhelmed, quickly join the Discord or the private community, and see what our guys are saying, right? We have a dedicated airdrop guide and dedicated moderators in the private community and also the public Discord completely for free to help you all out in this case. So with that said, was a very quick video indeed, and I do hope you guys appreciate the urgency. So with that said, take good care. Talk to you soon.